Welcome to episode 28 of the Eye of Terror podcast. I'm George.
And I'm Alec.
And we play 40K. So for those of you watching on YouTube, you've noticed that we recorded our first video podcast. It's kind of exciting.
Woo woo.
Those of you on audio, of course, will continue to get the full audio.
Yep.
But this is, for those of you watching on YouTube, we're going to have a couple of interviews. In fact, a couple of great special guests have joined us today. You won't be able to watch them on the YouTube feed, but you will be able to listen to them on the full podcast feed on iTunes and Stitcher or Google Music or wherever you get our fine podcast. So thank you for joining us. It's a bold new experiment in video, and we're probably going to make a lot of mistakes along the way. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But we're trying to expand our reach and hopefully find some new audience in the video world of YouTube. So thanks for joining us if you enjoy 40K. Okay, a lot of stuff to talk about today, starting with some brand new announcements from GW.
Oh, yeah, boys.
Yeah, Alec's a little excited about them.
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay, let's start off with the new whole new Tzeentch army that just got released and all the new Rubric Marines. Alec, what do you think about those things?
I cannot be happier. I physically cannot be happier. I mean, we expected new Rubric Marines, which was like, oh, okay, they get models, whatever. And then they released entirely new models for the Rubric Marines. And then on top of that, they release new Terminators. Okay. Then they release an entirely new unit of, I guess, Tzeentch cultist equivalents.
Zangors? Like little? Are they like Tzeentch demons?
I think they're supposed to be.
Like
I think they're a unit
creatures?
in in fantasy.
Oh, okay. So they may not actually be for 40K.
No. They're being transferred for 40K.
Oh, very cool.
Okay. I think that's what that's supposed to be. And then 3 new sorcerers. I don't know if they're all going to be in the same box or not, but those look amazing.
The Exalted Sorcerers, yeah, they looked awesome.
And then on top of that, we get Ahriman with a brand new, awesome looking plastic Ahriman model with a disc of Tzeentch for added insanity. And then on top of that, we get Traitor Legion's book. Traitor Legion's book. Exactly what everyone wanted. Except, it's on a new codex. But besides that, I'm still...
Okay, so a lot to take in. First off, a lot of beautiful new models. If you wanted to play a Tzeentch 40K Chaos Army, now you've got a bunch of great new models to do that. Love the new Terminators. The new Tzeentch Terminators are freaking awesome. They just, they're like, I don't know, kind of gothic, but also kind of, Egyptian at the same time.
Yeah.
They have flames coming out, and they seem to have some new weapons. It's just, they just look like overwrought and awesome. Kind of like the Blood Angels.
Oh yeah. Sort of, I guess,
a little extra finery.
Different design philosophy, but I guess same design philosophy, just different design.
Yeah.
In general, like. Yeah.
And I like the what GW's done with Ahriman. Obviously, they released a new Ahriman model with the Burning of Prospero box, but now you have a new Ahriman model in the 40K. So you got the 30K version in Prospero, and now you've got the 40K version being released separately. The 40K version looks amazing. It looks awesome.
Oh yeah, he looks great.
It's on a disc.
I especially like the little his like sorcerer's hand.
Yeah.
Like that's like emitting like flames. That looked cool. That's a little detail.
Very, very, very cool. So, the models all look beautiful. I don't know how if you play Chaos, you're not going to run out and get these.
Of course,
they look so good.
Oh.
Next, as Alec mentioned, also confirmed today, GW just confirmed the release of a bunch of new Codex supplements.
Yep.
The first one is Traitor Legions.
It's what everyone would want. Hello, Kat. You made our way into our podcast. Thank you, Kat, for doing that. You killed the podcast, Kat.
If you're watching the YouTube
done?
version, we've got cats, and so they're gonna enter in and out of the shot. We have no control over these feral cats that somehow have invaded our home, but whatever. Anyway, so Traitor Legions, 136 page softback covering 9 legions, and we don't know what kind of cool rules there are. but on the cover is a Zinchian Space Marine. So I'm assuming
Zinchian Terminator.
it's a Zinchian
Zinchian
Terminator. Yeah. So I'm
yes.
assuming it's going to cover not only Zinch but all of the other different
Yeah, because
legions.
in the trailer there was a little trailer that was dropped
Yeah.
that had all 9 symbols for all 9 legions.
Well, that's cool.
So Alpha Legion rules, man.
Oh
Alpha
wow, that would
Legion
be
rules.
that would be super cool.
Iron Warriors.
Okay, all right. Now that there is a God Emperor Trump, you know what? That means I have to join the traitor side now.
Oh my God.
So I'm gonna have this is the perfect
Are you-
reason to start an Iron Warriors army. Now that this is the sign. From,
This
is the universe's
the
sign
Is this
that I
the
have
sign?
that I have to join the traitor legions and start an Iron Warriors. First off, hazard stripes everywhere, right?
Oh, yes.
So there's that, and then it has that battle automata at Forge World that I just keep looking at and talking about. So
Oh
all
yeah,
right.
that autonomous. It looks.
So
cool.
I think
If-
that a likely result is, as a result of this Traitor Legions book, we're probably gonna end up picking up a bunch of Rubric Marine models, and
Yeah.
maybe even picking up the Prospero box so that we can have extra Space Marine models to start a Iron Warriors Chaos Legion.
it might just be
It might be the
necessary.
case. It might be the case.
Whoa.
We might get sucked into 30K too. Who knows?
Who knows? We don't know.
This game is too expensive. I don't know what to do.
Our wallets
Oh
can't
my
handle
God.
it,
Maybe
man.
we should just start a Kickstarter. I don't know. So we have everything.
Yeah,
So
a
we basically
Kickstart.
have
A
everything.
Kickstart.
We're
Hey,
gonna-
fund
yeah.
us so we
We're
can
gonna
buy more stuff.
We're gonna buy everything.
It'll be like the potato salad guy, except better.
Yeah. Okay. Apart from the Traitor Legions book, there's a new book that's also being released called Imperial Agents. I'm excited about this one because the rumor
Yeah.
is it's going to have Inquisition, Sisters of Silence, Custodes, Sisters of Battle, and Assassins.
It'll essentially just be all the miscellaneous,
All thrown
like
into
imperial
one.
stuff.
But that's great. That's one
Well,
book that covers all of the different armies that are also part of the Imperium. You know, all the organizations that are also part of the Imperium. And that way I don't have to chase down digital versions or, internet versions of all this stuff.
Oh yeah, I think it's great. I think that I will really enjoy the concept of all these, of just giving all these miscellaneous sort of independents but smaller groups their own big codex.
Yeah, yeah. It's exciting. It's an exciting time to be in 40K because of so much great new stuff, so many great new models, and the rules that are coming out fast and furious for your armies. So a lot of love from GW. Really love what you're doing, and then the way they've been sort of promoting it and releasing the information and being part of the community, sort of responding to the community
Yep.
in humorous and timely ways.
Yeah, those that
It's like it's a whole new GW.
the trailer for the hero bases.
Oh, the 80s trailer?
The 80s trailer,
Oh,
that was fantastic.
that was awesome.
That was phenomenal.
That was fantastic.
Okay.
All right, love that. A couple other releases that are indicated. Are there a couple of look like art books?
Yeah, I think they're like coffee table type.
Yeah, in a very 80s kind of artwork on the front.
Yeah.
There's Index Chaotica,
Yeah.
which is the Index Chaotica Apocrypha, and it seems to have like a Terminator Lord,
Yeah, like
a Chaos Terminator Lord,
coordinate Terminator.
straight from the 1980s.
Oh yeah, he that is vintage.
And then there's
vintage.
Index Imperialis Apocrypha, which is like a Warlord Titan. But man,
I gotta say, I think
early 80s, it looks freaking awesome.
I think you guys got. I think the Imperials got the better cover. That
It looks
super
very
good.
heavy metal.
That looks super good.
Well, I'm not exactly sure what those books are yet, and I don't think we've gotten details as to what they are. But
My guess is they're art books. I don't know for sure
Yeah,
though. It could
but
be.
they look great. For Christmas gifts, they're going to be fantastic for any
Yep.
40K fan. All right. So this is exciting. I can't wait for these new releases. So anyway, when we have details about what they contain, we'll of course share them with you guys.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So we've got a couple of great interviews today. Joining us today will be Reese Robbins from Frontline Gaming, talking about the LVO and talking about 40K in general. Hopefully, giving me some tips on my LVO list.
Yep.
And then also joining us is a frequent contributor and friend, Arthur Shulsky. He and I played a game the other night, and so we'll be talking about that. And then after all that, we'll be getting into our battle report, which pitched the Cult Mechanicus
Mm-hmm.
and Guard
Yep.
versus,
Corn Demonkin.
okay, all that when we return. And we're back. Okay, now we're going to get into our battle report. The Cult Mechanicus and Guard versus Chaos Corn Demonkin.
Yes, sir, Rooney.
Okay, why don't you start off with a description of your list?
Okay, my list consisted of that ever-loving Demon Prince in blood-forged armor with wings, so that's about 250 points, I believe, flying around. It consisted... Oh, this is the Slaughter Cult. This is the Slaughter Cult detachment, or...
Right.
Yeah. So we had a Slaughter Cult as the core group with a Herald in charge. Unusual, I didn't take the Chaos Sword this time. I had 2 squads of Khorne Berserkers.
Mhm.
One had the Herald. They are both in Rhinos.
Right.
One squad of Possessed, also in a Rhino,
Okay.
as they always are. I had a Charnel cohort with the aforementioned Demon Prince. 2 squads of 10-man squads of Bloodletters. I had 2 5 of dog squads of Corn Dogs.
Corn Dogs.
I had 1 squad of 3 Crushers, and then I had that oh so wonderful Bloodthirster of Insensate Rage,
Okay.
the hardest hitting unit I have ever seen. The Mister I can reasonably kill a Titan in 1 turn.
All right, that was your list.
Yep.
Okay, great. I decided to play Cult Mechanicus because I really want to get used to playing AdMech as part of the War Convocation for the LVO. So you're going to see a lot of Cult Mech on this channel pretty soon. All right, so I brought Attack Dominus. He was my warlord.
Yep.
He was thrown in with a Castellan robot Maniple. One of the robots had 2 power fists and basically the flamethrower. And the other robot had the twin-linked phosphor blaster, and then an additional phosphor blaster. They come along with the Data Smith. My troops were 2 units of Kataphron destroyers with heavy grav cannons. 1 unit had flamers, the other unit had the phosphor blasters. That was my AdMech army.
Yeah.
Okay. For my guard allies, I took a infantry squad that consisted of 2 10-man infantry squads, each equipped with 1 autocannon team and a flamer. The platoon company squad had 3 plasma rifles in it. Okay.
All right.
My HQ in that unit was Tank Commander Pask.
Up there he is.
He was in a Punisher.
Yep.
With heavy bolter sponsons. And then accompanying him was a tank, was a executioner tank with plasma turret, and plasma sponsons. For my heavy support, I took a Basilisk, and for my fast attack, I had an armored sentinel with a plasma cannon. Yeah, which we'll talk about that. In a
Yep,
second.
that was amazing.
Also, part of the infantry was a unit of 20 conscripts with 2 Minnesota priests. So my plan was generally going to be that I was going to use the heavy grab and the cult mech to disassemble and crush everything in its 30-inch range, and then I was going to use the mass of the guards to either park an objective or run after objectives, figuring there was so many bodies they'd be hard to kill. So that was my general thinking about the army.
Yeah.
All right, we played the LVO mission 2, scenario 2, which was the relic.
Yep.
And you get 4 points if you win the relic portion. You get 4 points if you win the Maelstrom missions portion.
Yep.
There was also Slay the Warlord. There was First Strike, which is like First Blood, but it applies to both sides.
Yep.
And then there was Table Quarters. Those were the bonus points in the scenario.
Cool.
All right, so let's talk about what happened in the game. I won the role for choosing table sides.
Yes, you did.
So I parked the Basilisk and all the heavy destroyers. Oh, I see. So you won for deployment, right?
I won for choosing who goes first.
Yeah,
and then I went first.
Yeah,
because,
okay, you went first. So you deployed first. So talk about your deployment.
I actually had pretty sparse deployment since my Bloodletters and the Bloodthirster were all coming on later. So it was just Fleshhounds, the Blood Crushers, the 2 rhinos filled with Khorne Berserkers, and the 1 rhino filled with Possessed. All really just positioned to run up
Right.
as they always are, because that's the only strategy for that army that are like a large amount of deep strike. So yeah, it wasn't really nothing too spectacular, except oh yes, my Demon Prince and Flesh Hounds ran up the side. I think that you parked your what are they? The Sentinels, the Sentries, the Servitors,
The Cataphrone Destroyers.
Cataphrone Destroyers.
There we go.
My
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah.
My brain. Too much chaos.
Okay, I deployed. Basically, I there was a Sky Shield landing pad on the terrain, and that's the table side I chose. So I parked my Basilisk up there, along with all the Cataphrone Destroyers up there.
Yep.
And I spaced them so that it'd be hard for anything to deep strike. I was scared of your Bloodletters deep striking in and wrecking havoc there. So I kind of spaced them all out so they'd be hard to deep strike into. I had a Chimera as part of the platoon company squad, and that was parked underneath the Sky Shield. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I also had a unit of Electro Priests.
Oh yes, of course.
Electro Priests.
You have to. You have to. They're the greatest unit in the entire book.
You keep saying that, and I keep joking. I keep going along with it as if they are.
Yeah.
But every time that we play them,
They always like overperform.
They
Go.
overperform.
I mean, last time they killed like Sanguinary Guard.
yeah, that's right.
That was fantastic.
So we'll talk about them in a second. The guard I pretty much set up. They were in a large piece of terrain guarding one of the objectives, and then I had the 20 conscripts in sort of like a courtyard area behind them. They were sort of out of reach, but I had 20 conscripts and the 2 priests ready to launch, ready to march if they needed to.
Yeah.
My 2 tanks I set up in a little alleyway. With a pretty clear view of the battlefield, and behind them were the Castellan robots with the Tech Dominus Priest and the Data Smith. So that was my deployment.
Yep.
Okay, so turn 1, what happened?
So turn 1, I ran up. That's my turn 1.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's when you play Khorne Daemonkin and you run.
Yep, I run up.
All right,
Run
you
up
ran
the
all
field. Run up
units.
the field. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah. My turn one. I pretty much shot at your Blood Crushers. So my heavy Basilisk and my Cataphrone Destroyers. Oh, hello, Cat.
Yep.
All went up and shot at your Blood Crushers, killing 2 of them. I thought that I could basically. You had rolling missions that required you to camp your objective 1, and I thought I could just blast you off of that objective. And I did. I killed 2 of the Blood Crushers, but I forgot to notice that your Demon Prince was also within 3 inches of objective 1. So I failed to stop you from scoring that objective.
Hurrah.
But I felt pretty good in that I killed 2 Blood Crushers that turn. So that was my turn. That was my turn 1.
My
Right.
turn 2
Yeah.
consisted of running up the field and then deploying the Bloodletters, who came in all at once.
Talk about how they came in though, because you did something pretty cool there.
Oh yeah, the due to the rules of the Charnel cohort, you can, if you deploy within 6 inches of the Demon Prince,
Yeah.
you won't scatter. And I used the Chaos instrument, so when I rolled for 1, I automatically brought in the other. So that was pretty nice. So they were all assured to come in at once. Unfortunately, the Bloodthirster did not deem it necessary to come in yet, for whatever reason. But hey, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, my turn essentially just consisted of showing up with an overwhelming force.
Right, and then you moved up your rhinos that had your possessed. And
My
your
rhinos and my
berserkers in there.
berserkers and my flesh hounds moved near the relic, and that's it.
So from my perspective, coming up on my right was a whole bunch of demons that suddenly appeared. Bloodletters had appeared. I had 1 remaining Blood Crusher. I had a Demon Prince coming up at me, and I had 2 units of Flesh Hounds. Right?
Yes.
So
this is
that's a
accurate.
whole lot of demons. My Cataphrone Destroyers have heavy grav cannons, so normally they're great, but
Yep.
now they were only going to hit the demons by rolling a 6 to wound because you don't have armor saves.
Nope, we don't have armor. That was
What I have though is way to fire.
yes. You had way to fire, but then
And
it was they did a really good job of emulating their guard brethren.
exactly.
Four up to hits.
On my left
to
flank,
wound.
I had most of my guard position there. They were sort of center and left, and then coming up on that side were two rhinos, one with a 10-man squad of berserkers, and one with the possessed. And the possessed also are great in melee, and I knew that I needed to do something about them. So I ended up shooting at this group of flesh hounds that were coming up. They were getting very close, getting into melee range.
Mm-hmm.
I shot at them with the basilisk and with the electro priest, and I managed to wipe those out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
The flesh hounds
Flesh hounds
disappeared
side.
that turn. And I think that's pretty much all the damage I did in turn 2. And then I think I scored some Maelstrom mission for camping my objective.
Oh, I forgot to mention
Yeah.
in my turn too. I had split off the demon prince and had him fly.
Oh right, he was now heading toward me.
Yeah, he was heading towards you.
Okay, turn 3.
Turn 3, my demon prince lands.
Yeah.
My bloodletters move up. I think this is the turn I deployed all of everyone that was in a rhino got out, and it was now just the mass horde running towards you.
Yes.
The whole load units.
And you also secured the relic.
Yeah, I secured the relic
with some berserkers.
Yep.
Now so I saw that you secured the berserkers, secured the relic with the berserkers, and then you had an opportunity to run away in the next turn, but you didn't. You ran towards me, and I had at this point I had Pask and a Punisher, and I had an Executioner, and you had Flesh Hounds also holding the relic.
Yep.
I concentrated all my fire on all the units that were holding the relic. Which,
Pask didn't.
Huh?
Pask died.
Pask eventually died.
He died. He died
Before I do that? Oh, fine.
He died before.
He died before because the Demon Prince got him.
Demon Prince was right there behind you.
Yeah. But the Punisher, the combination of the Punisher,
Yep.
the Basilisk,
Yep.
and then the Imperial Guard
Yep.
ended up wiping out all of the Flesh Hounds who were taking control of the relic and reducing your Berserkers to 5 men at this point.
Yep.
So I was a little confused why you decided to run up the Berserkers when maybe they should have grabbed the relic and made a run for it.
Because you killed the squad holding the. You're thinking of the other squad. You killed the squad holding the relic. They didn't get the opportunity to run away.
Okay.
They never got
I
the
killed them
opportunity to
before.
run
I
away.
got okay.
Yeah, so those guys never got the opportunity to run away, and same thing for the Flesh Hounds, I believe. Then I started. It was at this point the Bloodthirster had already come in. He had fallen on the table.
Yeah.
So I was waiting to see what unit he would. Essentially, he was like he's good for killing one unit before dying, because that was generally the idea. He would kill a big unit, and then he would disappear because he would get shot to death.
The rest of the battle consisted of my Cataphront destroyers just
Yep.
pinging away at your berserkers and your bloodletters.
There was the most entertaining. There was a few entertaining battles that we had.
Yeah.
The possessed wading into the conscript,
Yeah.
for example, that was funny.
Yeah, the possessed did come in. I shot everything in Overwatch. I even gave them.
I think you killed one in Overwatch.
I killed one in Overwatch. Well, that was like 40 last gun shots.
Yep.
And I only ended up killing one. You were really great on your saving rolls with the possessed. They made all their saving.
They
rolls.
made all their saving rolls. They just
That turned into like a hairball melee that lasted like 3 turns.
there was the really funny one between like the squad of, what was it, like 5? It was like 3, or no, it was like 2. It was 2 corn berserkers versus your 3 remaining electro priests.
Yes, that's right. And
4. It was 4 electro priests versus 2 berserkers.
2 berserkers and a herald.
The herald had already died before the combat had begun.
Oh, okay.
So it was just those 2 versus the 4 electro priests.
And you would normally think that berserkers could just easily wipe out.
They wiped out 3.
Yeah.
and then there was a little bit of a stalemate. Then the remaining Electro Priest killed a Berserker, and then the game ended before the combat continued. But it was essentially one Berserker and one Electro Priest going at it,
Fighting it
which that would look hilarious.
Yeah, it would. An Electro Priest versus a Berserker.
That would
full
be funny.
power armor. An Electro Priest who looks like a Shaolin monk
This is true. This is
with
true.
electro gauntlets, fighting a giant 8 foot.
That
dude
would
with
look
starries.
awesome, man.
That would look awesome.
That-
Sort of a Shaolin monk with electro fists. Oh man.
That is.
So the great
the
rules
fluff.
about the Electro Priests are
Yep.
they have these gauntlets, the electrostatic gauntlets that have a 12-inch range, but they're also twin linked. Their strength 4, you don't think that's that big deal, but they have exploding 6s. So if they roll a 6 to hit, they get 2 additional hits.
And it
And
always
that's constantly resulted.
they always
in
do more
additional hits. So they end up
than
doing
you think.
way more damage than you do. The fact that they're twin linked and those 6s explode, just end up doing a ton of extra hits on a unit. And then on the defensive side,
Yep.
they have a 5-up invuln save.
Which is fine, but then they have 5 up feeling
Feel
pain.
no pain. Super
Okay.
resilient and super tough.
Not well, it's funny because when you hear 2 5-up saves, it's like, okay, that's all right. That's not amazing, but they just somehow, for some reason, in all of our games,
They
they've
always
always done
make-
the same
yeah.
thing, and they always just do way better than they should. They always
So-
just do way better than they should.
A unit of 5 is 90 points, and it seems a little pricey, but it turns out it's not. They hit way above their weight. They ended up killing a unit of flesh hounds, and they ended up wading into that fight with the berserkers and holding them up, and eventually turning into a stalemate, which is great. So the rest of the battle, you ended up killing both my tanks.
I killed both your tanks.
Pass died.
Pass
to the
died.
Demon Prince.
Your robot maniple, which was held up in the back, was axed
Well, it was,
by the Bloodthirster.
The
That was the
Bloodthirster
selected
landed
target.
right behind them, and then took them out with one giant swing of his axe. 9 D attacks.
Yeah, 'cause
against that unit.
Not okay. That's just. It's ridiculous it's ridiculous how much of like, it's just an insurance of it's 275 points to ensure that something is going to die for sure. Like and there is no doubt that something will die to this.
I think a Bloodthirster is incredibly impressive on the battlefield. Absolutely, when it gets into melee, the hard part is getting it into melee.
Oh no, that I don't.
It's died a whole bunch of times.
I don't think that's
on the way there.
I don't think that's the hard part. The hard part, I feel, because it's easy to get into melee. You just need to fly it. You just need to properly fly it up.
Okay.
As long as they don't have
As long as they're not.
any anti-air stuff.
Yeah.
As
right.
long as they don't have any anti-air stuff that also is AP3 because it's got a 3+ armor save.
Yeah.
Then you're fine. The hard part is after it's wiped out a unit, it's basically dead meat.
Yeah, then everything can just shoot at it because it's only a 3-up. I ended up after you wiped out the robots. My Cataphront destroyers turned their heavy grav cannons and then unlaunched 36 shots.
Yep.
At it, and then that just killed its remaining four wounds.
Yep.
And it died. So that killed it. And so what I ended up doing is that the conscripts were holding up the possessed. I ended up wiping out most of the berserkers. I ended up the last gunfire, the weight of fire from the Imperial Guard ended up killing most of the bloodletters, right? And then I had a unit of guardsmen run up and seize the relic in the final turn.
Because we tied Maelstrom.
Because we tied on Maelstrom, and I ended up winning on relic. So the
game ended at turn 5.
Ended at turn 5 with the roll of the dice. I got 4 points for the relic. We tied on Maelstrom. We each slew the warlord.
Yep.
Right.
If we didn't record, I don't think we
didn't
recorded
record table quarters
because
or line breaker, but you had line breaker.
I had line breaker,
and I didn't.
Yeah, I think it would have. I think it probably, because I would have just summoned in another unit like Fleshhound or something like that,
right,
to try to take the relic,
and it would have been a fight.
The
other thing to think about was that I had a CAD for the Imperial Guard, and so the troops had objectives secured.
Yeah, but you're fighting fleshhounds or you're fighting a corn unit. So if they had gone into close assault, I don't think there would have been much chance of survival for.
Yeah, we never know. We never know.
I highly doubt there would have been it, but at the same time, yeah, if enough of them had survived, sure.
Right.
But I don't think enough of them would have survived if that had happened, of course.
Right. Well, my only surprise I think in the game was when you decided to deep strike in your bloodletters in front of me, like way in front of me, which gave me time and range to shoot them. I thought for sure you were gonna like summon them in, right in the midst of my units.
I can't.
And cause havoc. That's I was scared that was gonna happen.
I could. Well, none of your priority targets were in a position to where I could do that. Like think about. Okay, so like the open space that you had in your table side.
Right.
Okay, so now we're here, and I guess we get to charge into conscript. Woo.
Yeah, I had deployed pretty well. I'd set up kill zones with the guard. I was kind of hoping to lure you in with some open spots where basically like 40 las guns and turning into 80 las gun shots in close range. Was going to be an effect.
I don't think the las guns actually did that much during this.
They ended up putting some wounds on the bloodthirster.
They put one wound on the bloodthirster.
Okay, they put a wound on the bloodthirster. They ended up dropping a 1 to the possessed. They ended up finishing off your unit of berserkers, and they ended up finishing off a unit of bloodletters. And that was all just guard shooting.
Yeah, but I think the main stuff was your tank and your basilisk and your heavy grav cannons.
Yeah,
they
sure.
Don't get me wrong, they contributed.
Yeah,
but I don't think they were a prime player.
They weren't the heavy hitters. They weren't the heavy hitters. And they weren't my MVP. I think my MVP was the Cataphrone destroyers that constantly just destroy things because there's so many shots.
Then I deployed my bloodletters in front of that, and my bloodletters were already sort of one of your heaviest hitters, the Cataphrone destroyers, as you so put, would have difficulty bringing down the bloodletters, ironically.
Yeah,
because again, no armor save.
No armor save.
Just an invuln save. So if they have an invuln save, so they can take saves against both all your plasma and all your basilisk shots. So I figured, yeah, why not? Because I don't want them to mishap by deploying them really close to your units, because that'd be a dumb way to die.
Yeah.
And I got assurance of a good deep strike if I deep striked right next to my Demon Prince.
Okay. Overall, fun game?
Yeah, fun game.
Fun game. It was good to see Khorne Daemonkin back on the table. We haven't seen him in a while.
Okay. Though I admit I am I think a bit corned out, so it'll be good to have Traitor Legions.
Yeah,
to get a new play style.
That book comes out December 3rd.
Again,
I think next weekend or this weekend or sometime soon you can pre-order it. But December 3rd. So we're excited. We're excited about that.
Yep.
Okay. Well, great. That's our episode.
Yeah.
Episode 28. We really want to thank you for joining us. Thanks to everyone watching on YouTube. If you
cat.
And you can see our cats.
Aren't there any professionals anymore?
No, these cats have no sense of boundary.
What is this?
So if you're joining us on YouTube, thanks for joining us. Look for more episodes here, video episodes. They're simple things. We're just basically recording the podcast. But if you want to see us, what we look like, check out our YouTube channel, which is the Eye of Terror podcast on YouTube. We'll have links at our Facebook page. So please come visit us on our Facebook page. You can also send us an email at the Eye of Terror podcast at gmail.com. Please remember to subscribe on iTunes.
Please don't let these cats be our only company.
On SoundCloud.
Please.
Or on Stitcher or on Google Play Music. We're kind of everywhere. With that, I'm George.
And I'm Alec.
And this is Mystery Cat. And that's Mignon. And we'll see you guys very soon. Thanks for joining us.